It is now 7:00 p.m., and I will call the City Council meeting to order. Can I please get a roll call?
Kevin Levy is absent. All other councilors are present.
Can everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Item 3 is special orders of the day and announcements. 3A is proclamation recognizing September 15th, 2022 through October 15th, 2022 as Hispanic Heritage Month.
We will have Vice President Forbeck to read the proclamation.
Whereas Hispanic Heritage Month is an opportunity to recognize the histories, cultures, and contributions of our residents whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. And whereas the observation began in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon B. Johnson, but was expanded by President Ronald Reagan to cover a 30-day period and enacted into federal law on August 17, 1988, calling upon public officials, educators, librarians, and all people of the United States to observe this time with ceremonies, activities, and programs. And whereas the 2020 U.S. Census estimates that slightly over 21% of Beloit's population are Hispanic or Latinx residents. And whereas the City of Beloit joins the rest of the nation in recognizing the unique and vital role in our economy, workforce, education, and faith communities these Hispanic and Latinx residents play. Now, therefore, the President of the Beloit City Council proclaims September 15th, 2022 through October 15th, 2022 as Hispanic Heritage Month in the City of Beloit and encourages residents to observe this month with the theme Unidos, Inclusivity for a Stronger Nation, and celebrate the achievements and contributions of Hispanic Americans, presented this 19th day of September 2022.
Thank you. At this time, we will have Cecilia Ramirez, Tony Bosco, and Tulio Duran. If you could please come forward and maybe give us just a few words.
Welcome, absolutely, welcome.
Good evening, and thank you to the City of Beloit, to Beloit City Council for supporting our Hispanic community with this proclamation officially recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month and the invaluable contributions our local Hispanic community makes to our local economy, our schools, our culture, and our future. This proclamation shows a genuine care for and recognition of the Hispanic community's contributions to Beloit and the greater State Line area. One of our community's greatest strengths is our diversity, and this recognition of support by the City of Beloit for the celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month states that unequivocally for all to know. Thank you all, and have a great evening.
Thank you very much. And let's give him a hand. Thank you for being here this evening, and we truly appreciate all your contributions to our community. Thank you.
Item 3A is introduction of newly hired or promoted city employees.
At this time, our interim city manager, Beth Krueger, will invite our department heads to the podium to introduce our new employees.
Okay, good evening. We have Chief Sales first.
Thank you guys for this opportunity. I would like to introduce to you Anna Martinez. She will be my administrative assistant at the City of Beloit Police Department and also working on our payroll. Anna is a resident of the City of Beloit, and she's going to do great things for us. I've already noticed that I get a lot of my bills a lot quicker now, so I have to stay on my toes. Good job,
Welcome, Anna.
Welcome. Welcome to our team.
Next, we have Director Julie Christensen.
We have recently hired Matthew Hansen as a part-time bus driver. He is, sorry, excuse me, I can't read my phone. He is the son of retired transit driver Terry Hansen. He is a Navy veteran of 8 years. He's a resident of Beloit, married with 2 boys, ages 23 and 17. And we are happy to have him as one of our new bus drivers.
Great.
Great.
Thanks.
Wonderful.
And last but not least, he's been here before as an interim Public Works Director. He has now been named the permanent Public Works Director, Bill Frisbee, who also has some new and promoted employees to introduce.
All right, I have 3 employees tonight. First one is Chuck Luby. He is our facilities manager. He joined us on August 8th. Chuck is a retired Navy man. He served on board submarines. So he brings a lot of electrical and HVAC knowledge. He's hit the ground running and has been a great asset to the team already. Great attitude, always willing to do anything that we ask him to do. Chuck lives up on Bluff Street in a house that was built in 1880, and he enjoys spending his time restoring his house.
Great.
Second, we have Nick Moore. He is one of our engineering technicians. He also started on August 8th. Nick grew up in the State Line area in Rockford, Illinois. He attended Illinois State University, has a degree in geology, and has some background in land surveying. All of my experience with Nick so far has been great. Another person willing to do everything we ask of him and eager to learn. Our third person is Alex Kubakawa. He is an equipment operator in the water utility. So Alex worked for us in that role as a part-time employee from sometime in 2018 till early this year. He did leave us for a short while he found full-time employment in South Beloit, but he came back August 22nd. Alex is a fantastic employee. He was doing a lot of our water meter and transmitter changeouts, received public comment all the time for the great service he provides, so we are just ecstatic to have Alex back with us.
Great.
Wonderful. Thank you. So welcome to all our new employees.
Item 4 is public hearings. There are none. Item 5 is public comments.
We have reached the point on our agenda for residents to speak to the council about issues that are coming before us or may come before us in the future. Council members may not act on any requests at this meeting, but may refer a speaker to staff for assistance. We ask that you please hold your comments to 3 minutes or less and refrain from personal attacks of any kind. Public comment is a courtesy, and we expect everyone to conduct themselves in a civil manner. Speakers are asked to complete a public comment form. Madam Clerk, were there any public comments forms submitted this evening?
No.
Are there any members of the public that did not sign up who wish to address the council this evening? Last call. Are there any members of the public that did not sign up who would like to address our council this evening? Madam Clerk, were there any comments submitted by email?
No.
Public comment is now closed.
Item 6 is consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
Would any counselor like anything removed from the consent agenda?
Madam President, I would like item 6G removed from the consent agenda.
Counselor Blakeley will move 6G. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, including items 6A through 6F, and 6H through 6L.
I so move.
Moved by Vice President Forbeck. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Anderson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. The motion passes.
Item 60 is consideration of Resolution 2022-163, First Amendment to the operating agreement between the City of Beloit and Family Services of Southern Wisconsin and Northern Illinois, incorporated for office space at Big Hill Center, 1201 Big Hill Court, Beloit, Wisconsin.
Our Public Works Director, Bill Frisbee, will present on this item.
Family Services of Southern Wisconsin and Northern Illinois has made a request to vacate the office space in the upper portion of the Big Hill Center under their current lease and relocate to another space in the lower area of Big Hill Center. Family Services has utilized this space since 2018. They use it for the youth-to-youth offices. Both of the spaces upstairs and downstairs are of similar size, and this just is a continuation of the operating agreement between the two.
Right.
Thank you for that information, Bill. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Blakeley. Is there a second? Second by Vice President Forbeck. Are there any questions or discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilor Blakeley.
I just wanted to point out how well Family Services has served the community. They've been with us for 82 years, and no matter where they land, they always come through on behalf of our people. So thank you for your presentation. I'm all for Family Services.
Any further questions or discussion? At this time, there's a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Let me go back, because did I get a motion and a second?
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay, just wanted to make sure.
Somebody seconded.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. The motion passes.
Item 7 is licenses. There are none. Item 8 is ordinances. 8A is consideration of ordinance number 3755 to amend sections 6.2.11, sub B, sub 4, and sub 6 of the zoning ordinance, chapter 19 of the Code of the General Ordinances, in section 08, sub 4 of the subdivision ordinance, chapter 12 of the Code of the General Ordinances of the City of Beloit, pertaining to minimum dwelling standards and lot sizes. Second reading.
May I please have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented?
I enthusiastically say yes. Move so.
Okay, moved by Vice President Forbeck. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Terrell. Are there any questions or discussion? I just have a comment. I want to acknowledge that we received letters of support from Beth Glibby, Jenny Hoople, Chuck Jeffers, Christina Van Horn Cook, Beloit Area Task Force on Homelessness, and there was only one not in support, and that was Jeff Hoyt. But as noted in the staff report, I want to mention that this ordinance will allow the City of Beloit to create a framework for approval of smaller dwellings referred to as entry-level ranch homes or small tiny homes, and will allow more efficient use of land, particularly on vacant or underutilized platted lots. So I just wanted to make that note. At this time, there's a motion to approve the ordinance as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
Item 8B is consideration of ordinance 3762 to create 18.02 sub 15 sub Y of the Code of the General Ordinances of the City of Beloit, authorizing outdoor vending by NAMI of Rock County Incorporated for a community event in Riverside Park. First reading.
At this time, our Public Works Director, Bill Frisbee, will present to us.
NAMI of Rock County is planning to host a community event in Riverside Park on October 8th. NAMI is doing a 5K run walk for suicide awareness, prevention, and mental health. They are requesting to solicit donations and run raffles during the event to raise additional funds. Other activities held during the event will be presentations, speeches, and informational booths. No alcohol will be sold at the event, and we do need to amend the ordinance to allow the vending in the park. This was kind of a late request. They weren't originally planning to do the fundraising at the event, and that's why it's coming so close to the event. And if you aren't aware, NAMI stands for National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Thank you. This is a first reading of the ordinance with a request to suspend the rules. Is there a motion to suspend the rules to allow first and second reading? Is there a motion?
I so move.
Moved by Vice President Forbeck. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Blakeley. Are there any questions or discussion? At this time, there's a motion and a second to suspend the rules. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Now, on the merits of the ordinance. May I please have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented? Is there a motion?
I so move.
Moved by Vice President Forbeck, seconded by Councilor Anderson. Are there any further questions or discussion? At this time, we have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. The motion passes.
Item 8C is consideration of ordinance number 3760 to create or amend various sections of Chapter 29 of the Code of the General Ordinances of the City of Beloit pertaining to the wastewater treatment system. First reading.
At this time, our Public Works Director, Bill Frisbee, will present on this item.
So this ordinance has a lot of different amendments to Chapter 29 of the Municipal Code. I'll run through all of these and then entertain any questions. But sections 29.01 sub 1 and 29.01 sub 3 sub A are updates to clarify that these sections of the ordinance apply to all contributors, not just some. There was a little confusion on that in the past, so the amendment is to just have the word all added to it. Section 29.30 sub 3 sub B is updated to include a certification statement by significant industrial users on their monthly and semi-annual reports. They're already including these statements, but this is just to solidify that they have to do it under our ordinance, and these statements are required under Wisconsin Administrative Code. Section 29.02 is amended to include the definition of an illicit discharge under the wastewater code. It modifies the definition of a significant industrial user, and it modifies the definition of significant noncompliance. The change to the definition of significant industrial user allows the city to more closely monitor industrial users who may not otherwise qualify as a significant industrial user, but it allows the staff to classify an industry as one if there is a potential that they could interfere with the wastewater treatment process or cause pass-through, which is where we wouldn't be able to treat something and cause us to violate our wastewater permit. And then the change to significant noncompliance will bring our definition in line with the state and the federal definitions of significant noncompliance. With what we're removing right now, if an industry misses one sample for one parameter, then they'd be in significant noncompliance. Where removing, having to make sure every test is done, would just fall under the regular enforcement standards. With significant noncompliance, it brings being published in the newspaper that they were not in compliance with their permit in a significant way, where we just feel one small test is not a significant noncompliance, it's just general noncompliance. There's a whole bunch here running together, 29.10 sub 3, 27.17 sub 1, 29.17 sub 3 sub B, D, E, and F, 29.17 sub 6 and 7, 29.18 sub 2 are all amended or created to reference the prohibition of illicit discharges and or modify the requirements of the spill control prevention plan that all industrial users who have certain amounts of chemicals on hand have to follow. Section 2930 sub 1 requires a wastewater discharge, or requires users to obtain a wastewater discharge permit or a business permit. The current code just says they have to apply for it, not actually have one issued to them. Section 2930 sub 4 requires users that are required to sample and test their wastewater use methods that are approved by the state. Section 2907 limits sewer service to the city limits and areas outside the city limits that are already receiving sanitary sewer service from the city. We do have some language already that specifies some of this, and this is in line with past practice, where we only want to be providing service to our residents or those who have had an agreement in the past. Section 2930, sub 5, sub C, establishes a fee to cover staff time associated with modifications to wastewater discharge and business permits. 29.13 is updated to change pollutant limitation, the units from micrograms per liter to milligrams per liter. Milligrams is the more common term used. 2904 sub 4 creates requirements for the discharge of dental amalgam. This one came about a few years ago. We did put a program in place, and so that's dental amalgam is what is used for fillings, and it contains mercury. And so we have very strict discharge limits with mercury, so it's making sure that the dental offices have dental amalgam separators, that they're having them maintained and inspected, and we do annual inspections with the dental offices to make sure they're in compliance. And then section 2504 sub 4 sub D is updated to remove reference to the environmental specialist position. This position was eliminated. We had environmental technician and specialist. We have technician 1 and 2 now. And so these updates are needed to bring our ordinance in line with some DNR requirements from our last pre-treatment audit we had, and just to clean up the language to make things more clear.
Thank you, Bill, for this wonderful presentation this evening. This is a first reading of the ordinance. Is there a motion to lay the ordinance over for a second reading? Moved by Councilor Anderson. Is there a second? Second by Vice President Forbeck. Are there any questions or discussion at this time? I would just
have a comment.
go ahead with your comment, Vice President Forbeck.
I like this because it seems to me in my 5.5 years here, we are constantly and wonderfully updating our ordinances and the language. So it's up to date, it's in line with federal and state rules, and so this is another example, I think, of great staff work. So thank you.
And I would like to echo that and just say thank you for cleaning up the language. Thanks to you and your staff for your hard work to ensure that we are in compliance. So thank you.
Cleaning up is what they do best.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you. At this time, there's a motion and a second to lay the ordinance over for a second reading. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. The motion carries. Thank you very much.
Item 9 is appointments. The individuals named below have been nominated for a seat on a city board, committee, or commission. Each nomination is subject to confirmation by the city council. Approval of appointment will be accomplished by one motion unless a councilor member requests to take up a nomination separately, in which event the nomination will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
May I please have a motion to approve the appointments? Is there a motion?
I so move.
Moved by Councilor Blakeley. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Terrell. Are there any questions or discussion? At this time, we have a motion and a second to approve the appointments. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
Item 10 is councilor activities and upcoming events.
Okay. Let's begin with Councilor Day.
Thank you. I get to go first. Just as a follow-up for NAMI, October 18th, it's a Tuesday. And does anybody know what the time is for that event? So everybody, we can make that.
The event is actually on October 8th. There was a typo in the staff report, but it's on the 8th, and I will look up on their website what time it starts for you, so you can continue on, and I'll...
Glad I asked, because I put the 18th down to go, so I've been showing up on Tuesday, and nobody'd be there. Just one thing for me, I want to make an announcement for Career Tech's Dare to Dream Community Construction Zone that's going to be coming up October 1st. It's a Saturday. It's from 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, and it's at the Ironworks campus on 4th Street, downtown Beloit. It's a kid-friendly event, open to the public, all ages. It's an opportunity to discover and explore different careers in our construction industry. So we'd love to have the kids and adults come out and play. We have 16 booths. We have 9 local companies represented doing hands-on activities as it relates to our construction trades. We'll have heavy equipment there. We'll have some big cranes. There'll be a dozer, some trucks. I know Beth wants to get on that dozer, so Beth will be there, I'm sure. Welding, we'll have several hand tools for everybody to enjoy and get to test out. So we'll have prizes and free food. It's important to know, free food for everybody.
Absolutely.
So if you want to know about it, you can check out Career Tech's website, the Boys and Girls Club, and then CCI also on our Facebook pages. There's community signage and there'll be radio ads coming up. So I hope to see everybody. Thank you.
And that NAMI event is October 8th, beginning at 9 a.m.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Counselor Day. I can't wait. And you'll be on one of those dozers too, right? Okay. Counselor Terrell.
No, I don't have anything today. Just wanted to say hi, I guess.
Thank you. Vice President Forbeck.
Well, I just want to say that I certainly enjoyed our event at the USS Beloit. You know, you don't often get a chance to take a look at true patriotism where there really is no politics around it. Just these young, wonderful people who are serving and on the crew of our ship. I mean, it was very moving. And as a longtime resident here, I am struck constantly now of how much we used to sort of belittle ourselves as Beloiters. And to be so proud to have a United States ship named Beloit, it's really something. So that was my most exciting thing as far as the city goes since we last met. So thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Forbeck. Counselor Blakeley.
Thank you. Along with Councilor Terrell and our president, we attended the First Starts open house for the latest home built in the Beloit Merrill neighborhood at 1256 Dewey. So I just wanted to say congratulations to Community Action's Fresh Start students who learned construction work as they work alongside professionals to rehab and build homes through the Merrill Housing Initiative. And a little later that day, as Councilor Forbeck said, the counselors attended the celebration for the USS Beloit in the ABC Stadium. It was really exciting. Navy Commander Leandra Kissinger, sponsor for the ship, was there. U.S. Army Major General Marcia Anderson also attended, along with members of the battleship crew. And there were many honored veterans present. That was really thrilling to see these gentlemen and the lady who participated in World War II, fought for our country, and some of them are now well over 100 years old. So it was really heartwarming. We have had, as I know our interim city manager, Ms. Krueger, is going to speak to, we held 4 feedback meetings led by the Baker Tilly executive recruitment firm that's working on hiring or bringing forward candidates for us to hire. They held feedback meetings both on the east and west side of the city. I was able to attend a couple, and several of the other counselors were there, as well as former counselors and citizens who had a chance to really speak their minds. So that was great. Tomorrow, the Landmarks Commission meets here in the Forum at 7 p.m., and I go to the Beloit Public Library Board meeting on Wednesday. Speaking of the library, there's a public event tomorrow when the library hosts the ABC Play Group from 10 to 10:45. It's open to children and their adults, children who are 3 to 4 years old. They can practice their early literacy skills with singing and stories and fun ways to learn the alphabet. Would you like to hear me sing the alphabet song? No,
Silence.
in silence. Okay, I will do that quietly. So it's for the kids and their adults, and it's really a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Blakeley. Counselor Anderson.
Mic's on, there it is. Just a couple events that I went to in the last couple weeks that were not mentioned. Went to the Fiesta Mexicana event at the Piggly Wiggly. There's a lot of people there, a lot of people I didn't know, so it was really great to see so many people come out. Thank you to the Guzman family for hosting that. Just really great that we have events like that in Beloit, that, you know, no matter who you are, there is an event for you here in the city. And then last week, I also attended the Oktoberfest event, hosted by the Downtown Beloit Association. There's drinks, music, and axe throwing, which I did not participate in. I was volunteering the late shift, so I did not get to throw any axes, but it looked like a lot of fun. I was very jealous. Hopefully, if you missed it, you'll go out next year, because it's definitely a great event. And obviously, Downtown Beloit Association is doing a lot of great things and puts on a lot of great events for the community. So that ends my report.
Thank you, Counselor Anderson. Now for my report. And I forgot I went to the open house. I forgot all about that. It shows you we're doing a lot as a council. We're all over the city, I'm telling you. First, I attended the USS Beloit ceremony along with Vice President Forbeck, Councilors Anderson, Day, Terrell, and Blakeley. I also had the opportunity to join the USS Beloit crew members and Mark Finnegan in visiting with two of our local veterans. They are George Olson and Stan Van Hoos at Beloit Senior Living. We are grateful for their service. In addition to that, Vice President Forbeck and I had lunch. We toured Fairbanks Morris Defense and went to the reception with our Beloit police and firefighters at the fire station in celebration of this endeavor. It was so humbling to take part in the USS Beloit ceremony. We had a moment of silence in remembrance of the 21st anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks for those who lost their lives in New York, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. The ceremony was a huge success. Many people have reached out to me and other counselors and expressed their pride and gratefulness. Special thanks to Drew Pennington, Sarah Locke, our city staff, counselors, legislators, ABC Supply Stadium, Beloit Skycarp, Badger Courthawks, Sarah Lemon, Fairbanks Morris Defense, Vets Row, Commander Kissinger, and the USS Beloit crew, the artists, students, downtown businesses, veterans, and everyone that was involved in this effort. Also, thanks to those who came out for this momentous event. This was such an honor for our city of Beloit. We also recognize our very own Major General Marcia Anderson, who's the ship's sponsor. And it was wonderful that the USS Beloit crew unveiled the ship's beautiful crest, which will be displayed here at City Hall. So please go to our City of Beloit Facebook page to find out the special meaning behind the USS Beloit crest. Also, I attended the Wisconsin 81 Corridor Study Meeting, the Greater Beloit Economic Development Corporation Board meeting, the ARPA workshop, and Appointment Review Committee meeting. That said, if you would like to be part of our city team, please consider putting your talent to good use and volunteer to serve on one of our commissions. You can go to our City of Beloit website or call Brandy Leantonio at 608-364-6614. We really need residents to step up and help us to continue to make Beloit proud. And lastly, but not least, I want to mention that there have been a lot of presentations involving the public, which have been well organized and well done by our city staff, and some are here tonight. Julie, I don't want to name everybody, Julie Christensen, Eric Miller, Sarah, Drew, Bill, and also Beth Krueger. And we've had a lot of our department heads. I know I'm leaving somebody out. I hope not. But the presentations have been well organized and well done by our city staff. Let's give them a hand, because you make it look easy. I know it's not so, but I want to give heartfelt thanks to all of you, because you're working hard every day to help us provide outstanding public service. I can't state it enough. You are the best, and each of you are truly appreciated. This ends my council report for this evening. Next, item 11.
Which is city manager presentation. 11A is update on the recruitment process for the next city manager.
First off, I just want to thank you, President Duncan. I think the team has been trying hard to get you to where we need to be on ARPA, and we do have another ARPA workshop next week, Monday the 26th at 6 p.m. at the library, so the public is aware of that. I'm going to add Terry Downing to that list. She's not here this evening, but she is a big part of those ARPA workshops.
Absolutely.
Yep. So an update on the city manager recruitment. We did hold several meetings last week. The recruiter is working on a brochure that she will get to us. Once we have that approved, we'll get the job out on the street so we can start posting and trying to get those candidates to submit their names. That position will be open for about a month, and then the council will meet to figure out who you want to do for a first round of who you want to interview for the first round, and then we'll continue to go from there. So we've been very busy on that front, and we will continue to keep the public informed. There will be a survey out as well as the job is posted to make sure we still have an opportunity to garner input on what people are looking for your next city manager. So that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to echo that and just say, Terry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to forget you because you really led that ARPA presentation, and we are so appreciative of that. So thank you, Terry.
Item 12 is reports from board and city officers. 12A is consideration of Resolution 2022-161, approving the purchase of tax delinquent properties from Rock County.
Now we will have a presentation from our Community Development Director, Julie Christensen.
So each year, except the last 2 years, Rock County Treasurer provides a list of properties proposed to be taken through the tax foreclosure process. The last 2 years they didn't, which means the list was really long this year. And so we have the ability to purchase those properties before they're sold at public auction. At this point, they will act on the foreclosure on the 22nd, so that later this week. In order to make it work within our cycle, we brought this to you before they go to court. But the resolution does include that they're conditioned upon Rock County taking them, so there's nothing harmed by including the full list. But Exhibit A, which is on the last page of the staff report, identifies the properties being acquired by Rock County through the tax foreclosure process that we are recommending for purchase. We are focusing on single-family houses and vacant lots. Single-family houses so that we can supply Axe Housing with some properties that they could buy to get homeowners into. And right now they have purchased all the houses we currently have, so they are eager for some more inventory. And then the vacant lots, we're looking at this year to try to get new construction on some of those lots. Some of those lots are part of a subdivision that never came to be, that we think we can package together for a builder to buy. And then others are randomly throughout the community and between the Wisconsin Housing Partnership for Housing Development and Community Action. We have our nonprofit partners that basically construct houses with our home funds. So we thought it was a good opportunity to pick up those vacant lots, which then they can purchase from us to try to encourage more of that affordable housing in our community. And then even in terms of the size, because of the new housing flexibility ordinance, that does, basically I wasn't even focused on the size because I know under this new process, anybody, you could build a house on any size lot. So we basically picked those up. We also have a couple of vacant lots of our own. And so what I'm asking for you tonight is we have funds in a CIP account plus TIF housing money to pick up the whole list if Rock County ends up taking it. And so the resolution before you tonight approves the purchase of the list of properties in Exhibit A. It's conditioned upon Rock County obtaining title to them. And then it authorizes the city manager to purchase the properties. And then we would pick up what we can yet this month. And then if they gave extensions to people, we would just pick them up as they became available, and then we'd have Axe back in business. And just as a reminder, we're partnering with Axe has been part of a strategic plan for a number of years now. So I know we talk about consistency with the goals, but there's a specific initiative related to Axe Housing that this also complies with. And this is on your agenda for action tonight.
Thank you, Julie. May I please have a motion to approve this resolution?
I so move.
Moved by Vice President Forbeck. Is there a second?
Second.
I think it was by Councilor Terrell went ahead of you. I think it was seconded by, or were you going to say something?
Second, but I was gonna say something after
Oh, okay. Seconded by Counselor Terrell. Are there any questions or discussion? Counselor Terrell.
Just wanted to throw something in there from some of the things that I've discovered. I know there's down payment assistance programs through NeighborWorks that I think people should look into as well, along with like I believe the home program, right? And also like some of the houses that's on the market for up to about if you want to say 150,000. I believe the city, well, from what I was able to find out, the city offers principal reduction assistance where a portion of that mortgage could be forgiven, so it could go anywhere from like, I don't want to promise anything like, I just want to give an example. It could go anywhere from like 150,000 on a house that a person might want to look into getting, all the way down to like 80 or 90,000 potentially. So it'd be good for like moderate, low income people to probably take a look at. Also through the Axe Housing as well, to help some of the people in Beloit get the help that they need to owning a home and fixing their credit and things of that nature. So I just wanted to put it out there for the public on some of these things that the city is either doing or people that we're partnered with through the city to try to assist people with home ownership.
Any other further questions or discussion? Vice President Forbeck.
Yes, I just want to say, we are in the midst of taking a look at what we're going to spend our ARPA money on. And I'd like to point out that what we're trying to do here at the city is to do some major work that won't just be a temporary help to people who are suffering homelessness. I know that, of course, we get these agonized calls and people talking about this, and there are some moves to get possibly another shelter or two, which are wonderful. But if there's no place for them to move from the shelter, then we've failed. And this is a really good example of thoughtful looking at a serious issue for our citizens and hopefully a thoughtful and permanent solution. So I'm thrilled to see a good use made out of really sad things, foreclosures. So we will try to help as many people as possible through this way.
And I'd just like to add and say thank you, Julie, for the presentation tonight, and well done on that. And then thank you for the information that was in our packets. And also, more importantly, thank you for the partnership that the city has established with Axe Housing.
Yes.
So I just have to add that. At this time, we have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
Item 12B is consideration of Resolution 2022-149, approving an operating agreement between the City of Beloit and Beloit Youth Hockey Association for Edwards Ice Arena.
Our Public Works Director, Bill Frisbee, will give us an overview.
Beloit Youth Hockey Association serves approximately 250 youths between the ages of 4 and 19 in the City of Beloit and surrounding communities. BYHA schedules practices and games every week at the Edwards Sports and Activity Center from October through March. And BYHA pays a fee to the city for the lease of the space. This agreement is a one-year agreement with 2 additional one-year add-ons by mutual agreement between the city and BYHA. And the structure of that was proposed by BYHA. They wanted the concurrence for each to have the option to not renew the agreement. Our full intention is to renew the agreement unless something were to come up that we are unaware of at this time. The agreement requires BYHA to pay a minimum of 600 hours of rink time. Past leases were set at 800 hours of minimum, but it did have some options for them to get credit back for unused ice time. We worked with BYHA to set it at just the minimum 600, so that way we have a guaranteed minimum rent that we will receive as part of the lease. And then BYHA receives a credit each year for the setup and tear down of the rink. That fee was calculated based off the estimated staff time it would take at the hourly rate our staff averages. And then BYHA is permitted to sell advertising banners to display in the Edwards Sports and Activity Center during the term of the agreement. That is a kind of long-standing practice that we're solidifying into the lease this year. BYHA and the city will coordinate with other users of the center, including Beloit Memorial High School, the Rock County Fury, and then designating hours for open public skate. And then BYHA will pay for any additional hours over the 600 minimum that they do use. And then total revenue from this lease is $53,262.62. That is $62,400 for the lease, minus the $9,137.38 for the credit for rink setup and tear down.
Thank you, Bill. At this time, may I please have a motion to approve the resolution? Is there a motion?
Oh, my bad. So moved.
Was it, oh,
I think Anderson.
moved by Counselor Anderson,
Sorry.
seconded by Counselor Terrell. Are there any questions or discussion? At this time, we have a motion and a second to approve this resolution. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Now entertain a motion for adjournment. Moved by Counselor Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice President Forbeck. Any questions or discussion? At this time, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes. We are now adjourned. This ends our city council meeting for this evening.